It'll give you a lump in the throat. You might get a bit teary-eyed as well. Just getting to know the kind of journey Cheteshwar has had and the kind of effort a lot of people made to ensure that this man goes on to play 100 plus test matches for the country. So round of applause for Pooja and Cheteshwar as well. That he's going to play all his shots. The hook shot will come. He's not going to let the ball go outside the off stumps. All set?
Yeah.
No pressure.
No, not at all. Firstly, should I start?
Sure, please.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Firstly, very good evening to everyone. Before I start, I just wanted to thank the guest of honor, Anil Bhai and Chetna Bhabi. Thank you for coming here. And Rohit and Ritika, thank you very much for sparing the time and gracing this occasion. And thank you everyone for joining us for this wonderful moment. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this evening, and I'll try and talk as much as I can.
We've got to have the authoress speak a few words as well.
I just want to, we're truly grateful for everyone. You have shown up on a weekday. Again, thank you Rohit, thank you Anil Bhai, thank you Chetna, thank you Ritika. Yeah, we're good to begin.
All right then. Cheteshwar, I don't look like Stark or Cummins, so feel free to play your shots. Okay? Right. Now, let's begin with the first line of this book. It's part of a section called Author's Notes. And I was a bit shocked when I read that line. It says, Cheteshwar Pujara is a man of few words. We all know that. But here's what follows. He loves cracking silly jokes. I had never in my life imagined that the words silly jokes and Cheteshwar would be read in the same sentence. I refused to believe it. I thought it was fiction.
It's PJs. Silly jokes is just a nice way to put it forward. It's actually PJs.
ऐसा लगा था कि ये silly jokes मारने वाला बंदा है.
है मेरे पास. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here. My house is literally down the road, so it was very easy for me to come here. No, look, with Puji, I played all my cricket with him since under 17 days, under 14 days actually, not even 17. Pooja ने जो अभी बोला वो सही है. Sometimes it's important to have that fun going around, and जो चेतेश्वर सबको दिखते हैं टीवी पे खेलते हुए वो वैसे है नहीं. I'm sure बुक में काफी कुछ स्टोरी लिखा होगा, बट ग्राउंड के बाहर उनका अपना एक पर्सनालिटी है जो काफी छुपा हुआ है. वो लोगों के सामने इतना आसानी से आएगा नहीं. बढ़िया, he likes his jokes. इनका एक हमेशा से एक ग्रुप बनता था. पहले सिर्फ सौराष्ट्र प्लेयर्स जो होते थे सिर्फ उनके साथ जोक्स करते थे. फिर सौराष्ट्र से अहमदाबाद से बड़ौदा, तो गुजरात को पहले पकड़ा. फिर धीरे धीरे हमने बोला ऐसे नहीं चलेगा, अगर टीम में खेलना है तो सबके साथ मिलजुल के रहना पड़ेगा.
फिर मुंबई का भी ग्रुप बना था.
वो बाद में, मैं अंडर 14 से आप स्टोरी बता रहा हूँ. तो चेतेश्वर को बिल्कुल टाइम लगा खुलने में, लेकिन जब खुले तब बड़ा मजा आया.
एक बार सेट होने के बाद जो करते थे बैट
जो हमने सब सारे लोगों ने इतने सालों से देखा है उनका बैटिंग.
But I'm sure that side hardly ever came out in the presence of Anil Kumble. Did it, Anil Bhai, or did you see that side of him?
Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to be a part of this journey that Pooja has so wonderfully written. I happened to read the book. I don't want to put both of them in the awkward situation of bringing up how they met and the discussions that they have had and where the meeting took place, all of that. I don't want to bring that up. But no, I think Puji, for me, I had the honor of working with both of them. Of course, Rohit much earlier with Mumbai Indians, and then with Puji with RCB first. Before even Rohit at RCB, I worked with Puji, and then of course with the Indian team. I think, once we are totally different on the field. Of course, Rohit brings out his personality much more than all of us on the field. But we probably, hold back. And then I think, I relate to Pooji a lot in terms of our style and mannerisms probably. And that's something that I saw in him as well. How fierce he was on the field. I think off the field is totally different.
Right. So I'm going to quickly take you guys and girls and all of you through the various parts of this book. But promise you that it's what you will hear here in this event is only a teaser. You've got to go and buy the book because there's a lot more that we will keep to ourselves for now. Let's go to page 65 where I think there's a reference to the first impressions. When we saw Cheteshwar play for the first time, all of us thought, yaar, reminds us of Dravid thoda sa, na? Because he's someone who's taken after Dravid, India's number 3. And there's this beautiful story of how Cheteshwar's father, the great Arvind Bhai, would throw the ball at your friend called Sultan. He'd bowl to you. And Sultan, after getting tired, he would go to your other friend, Sandeep Dwivedi, who ended up becoming sports editor of Indian Express. And he'd go to him and say, yaar, ye thoda Dravid ki tarah khelta, out hi nahi hota hai. What were your first impressions, Anil Bhai, when you saw him for the first time? And I'll get Rohit to react on it as well.
I think the first time that I saw him, of course, in a test match was the Bangalore test match, his debut. When I think the second innings, he came ahead of Rahul in the batting lineup, if I remember, and then scored a brilliant 70-odd. We won the test match. And the first impression was, wow, I mean, exactly the same. I had seen Rahul much earlier than he made his debut for India with Karnataka in the junior games and also in the Ranji Trophy. And for someone to sort of follow his footsteps, and it's not easy what these two gentlemen do in test matches, opening the batting and then batting number 3. It's never easy. You're always, if he walks in early, then the team is in trouble. And for him, he has to face the first ball with the new ball. You don't know what the conditions are. So it's the most challenging, perhaps, for any batter. And for him to sort of follow someone like Rahul, who's played, more than 160 test matches. He's played already 100+ test matches. So to do that, I think, he's thoroughly deserving of all the accolades. He doesn't get that many, but I think he certainly deserves all the accolades. He was someone who I thought when I first saw him will certainly go on and play for a long, long time.
Which he did. Now, Rohit, your first impression, I'm sure ye गार्डन में घूमने वाले तो नहीं लगे होंगे.
बिल्कुल नहीं. इतना याद है मुझे कि मैं ग्राउंड पे जब जाता था 14 साल का था तो वापस शाम को जब आता था तो मेरे चेहरे का कलर बिल्कुल अलग हुआ होता. I'll tell you the reason because ये पूरा दिन बैटिंग करता था और हम धूप में फील्डिंग करते थे 2-2 दिन 3-3 दिन. तो मुझे अभी भी याद है कि मम्मी मेरे को 2-3 बार मम्मी ने भी पूछा कि यार जब तू खेलने जाता है यहाँ से घर से तू अलग दिखता है, जब तू घर पे आता है 1 हफ्ते के बाद या 10 दिन के बाद तू अलग दिखता है. तो मैंने बोला मम्मी क्या करूं, अभी वो चेतेश्वर पुजारा करके एक बैट्समैन है, वो 3 दिन बैटिंग कर रहा था और हम तीनों दिन फील्डिंग ही कर रहे थे. तो that is the first impression that we had of him. Till then we only heard there's a guy called Cheteshwar Pujara. We need to get him out as quickly as possible, otherwise we're going to toil on the field full day. And this was an under-14 tournament we were playing. I don't know if it was Mumbai or somewhere in West Zone. And I don't know how much he got, but we had the entire...
He does.
He'll remember every shot as well.
I'm raring to go. I got a 100 against Mumbai, so...
Ooh, shots fired.
तो इसीलिए मैंने सही बोला. सुबह जब घर से निकलता था तो मेरा चेहरे का कलर अलग होता था, शाम को जब पहुंचता था तो अलग होता. But I still remember our team meeting was only revolved around him, how to get him out, and if you don't get him out, probably we'll lose the game. So that is the first impression of his, and then we played so much cricket together, a lot of memories together that we created playing together for India, for West Zone, and then we played for Indian Oil as well. We are employed by Indian Oil, so we played under-19 cricket, under-19 for India, and then we were offered job at Indian Oil, both of us at the very same time, along with another stalwart of Mumbai cricket, Ajinkya Rahane, who's not here. But we played a lot of cricket for Indian Oil together. So we've spent almost all our life, nearly 70% of our life while we were on the field, we must have spent it together. So we know each other really well. अगर इसको आपने कुछ पूछा और इसने सही जवाब नहीं दिया तो मैं बताऊंगा कि वो सही है।
Chalo, done. बहुत सारी कहानी आ रही. Wait for it. A lot more is coming your way. But Rahul Dravid, Pooja, you referred in the book somewhere that his predecessor Rahul Bhai also played a very key role, very quietly. He's not told anyone about it, with a phone call and a recommendation to someone that surely went on to help him in his career.
Yes, I have written about it in the book, and I think it was one of the domestic matches जब राहुल भाई ने चेतेश्वर को spot किया था, and I think he was in Bangalore if I'm not wrong, and then he had just put in a phone call to the Saurashtra cricket, take care of this boy, you know, he's going to do well for a long period of time for Saurashtra and the country eventually.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, because at that time I used to bat at number 5 for Saurashtra team, and Rahul Bhai told that he should be batting up the order. He should be batting at number 3. And that's when I started batting at number 3 for Saurashtra, and then from then on things have been progressing really well. Yeah.
Right, Pooja, you mentioned in the book that there is something for everyone in Cheteshwar Pujara's story. Tell us why.
Cheteshwar's story is unique in the sense that I have mentioned this in the book as well. There are 4 parts to the book, and if you'll pick up any one part, even if you're not a cricket fan, or even if you're not maybe a person who follows sports or enjoys sports in general, you'll be able to relate some portion of the story to your own life, be it you are a child or you are an adult, you are a spouse, anyone. So there are so many elements, you know, the ones of determination, grit, inspiration, faith, so many things. So you pick up any chapter, and somewhere down the line you will be able to relate to at least one aspect of the, one anecdote or one aspect of the chapter to your own personal life.
But the one thing that came through is that it's very difficult to make him talk. He keeps things to himself, a lot of bottled up emotions as well. Anil Bhai, was he the kind of player who would come up to you and speak his heart out? I know Rohit's smiling, so I'm sure he has a story.
No, we certainly spoke. When I was the coach for the Indian team, we certainly spoke quite a bit. And even after that, we continue to have conversations around batting, about cricket, and about, it's mostly cricket and a bit of life. But yes, you know, it's always really, his questions are always pertinent, very pinpointed questions about how one needs to do in this situation, and that's how the conversations went. And it's always not something that you took lightly. You had to sort of listen to what Pooji is saying and then think about it before you even answer. You know, it cannot just be off the cuff. You had to sort of prepare yourself. Oh, you're going to meet Pooji now. You know what questions are going to come.
No, but honestly, Anil Bhai is putting it very modestly, but he's one of the best coaches I've worked with. And I've said this before also, because there are a lot of things which I have learned from him as a mentor, as a coach, and I can definitely say a guru as well, because you learn from the greats, and he has been a great support throughout my cricketing journey. So whenever I have interacted with Anil Bhai, he has come up with so many, because I've been the part of so many difficult situations on the field and even off the field. So whenever I spoke to him, he came up with the answer, because as a cricketer, you go through so many thoughts when you are playing. When you are playing at the highest level, there is a lot at stake. So to overcome those challenges, you need to have the clear mindset. You need to have clarity of what you want to do on the field. And when you get the right answer when you are in trouble, I can mention one incident in 2017 when India was bowled out for 200 odd runs against Australia. That was one of the actually toughest test series I've been part of in 2017. So I'm talking about, this was the second test match at Bangalore. The team didn't do well in the first innings. And we were again in a spot of bother in the second innings. But I spoke to Anil Bhai about how to tackle Nathan Lyon, and he came up with a technical suggestion. And after that, since then, I've made that technical change, and since then, I've been very successful till the last time I faced Nathan Lyon. So it's thanks to Anil Bhai's advice.
No, my challenge was Puji would come up with a batting question, right? So I had to. So I
But sir,
said,
you,
Puji,
you have a test 100.
no,
so.
that was thanks to because I was second guessing the bowler and I got it right after 115 test matches. So it was all about guesswork. But I would tell Puji that look, I can only tell you about how a bowler is thinking and what would put pressure on a bowler when you as a batter would be reacting. And that was the only thing. I think he's probably being too generous in his praise.
रोहित भाई आप मुस्कुरा रहे थे थोड़ी देर पहले कोई तो कहानी आई थी आपके दिमाग में
मेरे पास अब हजारों कहानियां हैं अभी
बहुत टाइम है
I
सर
think
गो ऑन
इधर बैठूंगा तो एक और बुक भी लिख सकता हूँ
ओके देन हार्पर कॉलिंस पार्ट 2 कमिंग अप 6 months के बाद गो ऑन कुछ कह रहे थे डजंट स्पीक हिज हार्ट आउट ऐसा कुछ
कौन पूजी ने
हाँ
of course he sometimes when you face people, when you face the media, when you're facing the world, it's the nature of people. Some people that they don't want to open up so easily. But when you're around, your comfort people, when you know people who are, not going to start judging you or start thinking about you, you try and open up. Not that I'm just speaking about him. I'm just talking about this in general. It happens to everyone. Sometimes people take time to open up. It has happened with me also. The way I'm speaking now, I was 10 years ago. I always struggled to face people, even in my school, when we were asked to come and do so many things in front of the other children. I always was nervous and I couldn't do it. But then with time, you learn so many things, and I'm sure it has happened to everyone here.
Also, जब रोहित साथ में होता है, because what he is trying to say is that when you are around your teammates, your friends, तो तभी खुल के बात होती है. So maybe not in front of the media, not in front of everyone, but when we are in the dressing room, whether we have won the game, whether we have lost the game, the kind of conversations we have, you open up, you try and tell what was the reason you lost a game, what was the reason we won the game. So there are so many dressing room discussions which keep on happening, and that's when I open up. And Rohit knows it.
And I know Rohit opened up the day they started putting mics in stumps because that's how we got a lot of gems that, of course, we'll remember forever. Now, इस कहानी में थोड़ा सा romance भी है. Believe me. Pooja, aren't you glad? Don't you thank God every day that your old BlackBerry phone rang exactly at 10:30 p.m. on the 18th of September 2012? Tell us that story, because I know you've written it so beautifully in this book. You've got to read it, by the way. Go on.
On most days I do thank, but not on all the days. But yeah, so we, as mentioned in the book as well, it's an arranged marriage. And I met his dad first. I did not meet Cheteshwar first, and I was like, this person is not interested. He's just, like there's a whole facade or maybe family pressure. I was under family pressure to, kind of show up and meet suitors. And I had a whole theory in my head wherein, he would have a lot of attitude, and that's why he didn't turn up. Actually, he was traveling for matches, and that's why he was not available. So I met his dad first, and then after maybe 10 days, I met him, and he was reluctant that he'll only meet at his uncle's place. And I was like, in this day and age, who will meet at uncle's place? Like, why couldn't you just go to a restaurant or a cafe and meet? So I had a whole theory in my head that, this person is just messing around and he's not interested. So it'll be good to, get the weight off my back as well. If he doesn't show up, I won't be the bad guy here. And he shows up, and he's completely opposite of what I had imagined him to be, because he was reserved and he had his own thing in his mind that, okay, I hear this is my safe space and I don't, nobody will judge me or so. So that's why he wanted me to meet him at his uncle's place, and it started from there on. And then, yeah, we are going strong.
There's a lot more to that story. It's coming up. Hang on. लेकिन फीमेल अटेंशन इज समथिंग यू नॉर्मली डोंट एसोसिएट विद चेतेश्वर, राइट? मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब फीमेल अटेंशन मिलता होगा तो ये खुद अपने आप को कहते होंगे, भाग पूजी भाग.
But when I first met Pooja, like she rightly mentioned that I didn't have any attitude. It was more about not revealing things. Look, I'm an introvert, so I didn't want the world to know that I'm
आप
looking
13
for
साल से एक्सप्रेशन दे रहे हो कि एटीट्यूड नहीं मार रहा था मैं.
So when I first met her, the thing was that I didn't want everyone to know that I was looking for a suitable partner, because I didn't want my partner to just judge me or just know me as a cricketer, because she didn't know anything about cricket, and that was the best part. She didn't know who I was. She didn't know what level of cricket I had played. Only my mother-in-law, she knew that I had played and I had represented the Indian team. So when I spoke to Pooja, things we were talking like a friend. It was the first meeting was so smooth. Like we ended up talking for 1.5 to 2 hours, and both the family members were sitting in the living area, and they were running out of topics. They didn't know what to talk, because in a normal typical arranged marriage you have two families meeting, and then we were sitting in a room for 1.5 to 2 hours chit chatting. We didn't know how the time went. But that was the first impression. That was the time where both of us were very, very positive. That was the time when we decided that, like, we are liking each other, and we would like to know each other even more. And after that, we spoke with each other for about a month and a half. And that's when we decided that we want to get engaged, and we can spend the life together.
Cheteshwar bats long. His first shadi matrimonial conversation is also 2 hours long. But just take a wild guess. This one's for all of you. Just take a wild guess on one of the things he spoke about. I mean, what? Just imagine, ना शादी होने वाली है या होने की के बारे में सोच रहे हैं तो क्या बातें हुई होगी? Just take a wild guess. Anyone? And only those who haven't read the book yet. Just take a guess. Anyone? No? Loudly. Okay. सब लोग confused है. Yeah, but एक कोई specific topic जहन में आ रहा है आपके? कुछ भी. Just take a wild guess. It's okay. Sorry? Movies. Okay, another guess. Don't mention the truth. Go on. Okay, let me break the bubble to you. One of the many things Cheteshwar told her about in great detail was something called ACL, anterior cruciate ligament, his knee injury. बताओ रोहित भाई क्या करें अब? क्या करें बताइए आप?
That's Cheteshwar for you. नहीं बड़ा मैं बहुत खराब इंजरी हुआ था मुझे पता है, and both his ACL were gone, and I'm like, for any cricketer, leave alone if you're not an athlete or not playing any sport, for a sportsman,
Hi.
it's very, very tough if you
Yeah.
lose both your ACL. And we used to tease him about his running technique and all that, but he managed to play more than 100 test match for India after that. So a lot of credit goes to him, how he managed himself. And it also shows the amount of dedication, passion he had to play the sport. But डिटेल में ACL के बारे में क्या बात किया होगा, आई एम श्योर इट वुड हैव बीन अ बाउंसर टू पूजा, क्योंकि आई कैन गेस इट्स द सेम थिंग हैपेंस टू मी व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट इंजरीज टू माय वाइफ एट द बिगिनिंग, बट नाउ she knows everything about it because of obviously a constant chat around it. But previously, it's tough, and ACL is a very complicated injury. तो अभी पता नहीं पूजी ने कैसे समझाया होगा, but I'm pretty sure it would have been a bouncer.
But that is the chapter I wouldn't want to talk much about, because she has described it really well in the book. तो उसके बारे में मैं ज्यादा बात नहीं करूंगा. I think I'll leave it to you guys when you read it.
Very smart plug है. Ultimately गुजराती है भाई, बिजनेस करना है, किताब बेचनी है.
In fact,
I have a
no,
sorry, go on.
In fact, I was there in the dugout where this happened in Bangalore when he was playing for RCB. When I think its foot got stuck chasing a ball, and then that's when I think he twisted his knee.
I have a theory on why he spoke about the ACL to Pooja, the knee injury. I have a feeling he was subtly trying to tell her that if we decide to get married, I will not go down on my knees to propose to you because. Yeah?
Correct?
And she keeps
100%.
reminding me because I haven't done that.
You could now.
Huh?
You could now.
It's okay.
Do you want me
it for
to?
another
Really?
day.
You could? Yeah, go on.
No.
Do you want
I
him
can-
to?
I'm an introvert.
We'll leave it for another day. We'll leave
Yeah, leave it for another day. Not the right occasion.
We'll leave it for part 2 of this book.
Yeah.
Now, on page 71, chapter 6, by the way, 4 parts, 23 chapters, a lot of color, a lot of masala. But on page 71, Pooja writes about something that's common between Cheteshwar and Rohit. This beautiful story of how Mumbai local trains have been a part of your journey. We'll get you to react to it. But Rohit bhai, आपके लाइफ में भी आप बोरीवली में रहते थे, टाउन साइड आते होंगे, तो काफी किस्से कहानियां ट्रेन में भी हुए होंगे.
What I mean, this the entire childhood was spent in local trains. मैं बोरीवली में रहता था और हमारी जो ट्रेनिंग होती थी वो चर्च गेट में होती थी, ओवल मैदान में, आजाद मैदान में, क्रॉस मैदान में. तो ये जो जर्नी थी, ये जर्नी से काफी कुछ सीखने को मिला क्योंकि क्या होता था कि हमें रोज सुबह सुबह 6:30-7 बजे के बीच में वो ट्रेन को पकड़ना पड़ता था क्योंकि अगर आप उसके बाद पकड़ोगे तो आपको बैठने के लिए जगह नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि लोग ट्रेन पूरे फुल हो जाते थे. और हमारे साथ, मेरे साथ तो बड़ा किडबैक भी होता था. तो वहां से डिसिप्लिन सीखने मिला कि आपको जल्दी से ये टाइम पे उठना है, ये टाइम पे घर छोड़ना है और ये टाइम पे स्टेशन पहुंचना है. तो ये तभी रियलाइज नहीं हुआ. ये ऑब्वियसली when you think back and when you go back now and think about it, you will realize that this is the kind of discipline one needs in life. तो ये एक तरीके का डिसिप्लिन था. उसके बाद रोज रोज यही चीज करना, that again was not an easy thing, but we actually took a lot of pride and fun in doing that because मेरे साथ और 2-3 लड़के होते थे और हम लोग साथ में काफी हंसी मजाक करके जाते थे.
नहीं यार, वो टाइम वाली बात रोहित ने पहले नहीं बताई क्योंकि जब मैं 11 साल का था तभी किड बैग लेके वेकेशन में आई वाज इन मुंबई. माय फादर इंश्योर्ड दैट मुझे बॉम्बे आके 2 महीना रुक के यहाँ पर जितने मैच प्रैक्टिस जितनी मिल सके उसके लिए मैं यहाँ पर आता था. तो 11 साल का था तभी मुंबई लोकल्स में किड बैग लेके मैं ट्रैवल करता था. तो इतनी भीड़ रहती थी कि मैं ट्रेन में घुसता था तो फिर इतने धक्के पड़ते थे. और किड बैग लेके ट्रैवल नहीं करना चाहिए या करना चाहिए वो पता नहीं, बट इतने धक्के पड़े कि उसके बाद मैंने एक बात तो तय कर ली थी कि मुंबई में अगर आऊंगा मैं तो किड बैग लेके कभी लोकल ट्रेन में ट्रैवल नहीं करूंगा. दैट वॉज द टफेस्ट टाइम आई एवर हैड क्योंकि मुंबई लोकल्स में घूमने का अलग मजा है. दैट आई हैड ड्यूरिंग दी अंडर 19 कैंप्स. वी हैड हम लोग का वानखेड़े में कैंप होता था वेस्ट जोन का. तो वो टाइम पे हम लोग सब दोस्त साथ में निकलते थे विदाउट किट बैग. तो वो घूमने का मजा अलग था, बट किट बैग लेके मुंबई लोकल में ट्रैवल करना वो बहुत ही मुश्किल था. उसके बाद मैंने पापा को बोला कि मैं मुंबई क्रिकेट खेलने के लिए आऊंगा बट मुंबई लोकल में कभी किट बैग लेके ट्रैवल नहीं करूंगा.
Right, now let's move to my absolute favorite chapter in this book. And on page 73, Pooja writes, this is my favorite line in the book, by the way. It says, "It was a touching tale of 3 dreamers with empty pockets and a bucket full of dreams. One dreamer is right here, and the other 2 dreamers were, of course, Cheteshwar's parents, late Reena ji, and the great Arvind Bhai Pujara. A round of applause for Arvind Bhai as well, because he gave us Cheteshwar. We'll come to Arvind Bhai's story in just a bit, but Pooja, tell me about this chapter. Mother of mine, you poured your heart out in this chapter as an author.
Yes. So Cheteshwar would be traveling for some of the domestic matches, and I learned cricket from Cheteshwar's dad. So Papa would, help me understand what the game is and what the aspects are, and we would just talk a lot of cricket. But also with that, he would tell me the tales, and that is the time I actually, started journaling or I started writing about it. because it was so inspiring to get to know the struggles that they had and the dream that they had, you know, and all of them together. It is not just one person's dream, it is the entire family's dream. They dreamt of this thing together that, you know, our child would represent the country someday. And there was no certainty at that point in time. You were just a 8-9-year-old boy, you know, he's just enthusiastic about a sport and is trying to, you know, pursue a passion. And that passion was fueled by a lot of hard work from both Cheteshwar's dad, of course, on the field, and he used to coach him. But Cheteshwar's mom, you know, like she really took care of him, and she was the anchor in Cheteshwar's life, and still is, and the values that he holds. It's all Cheteshwar's mom. So when I was writing that chapter, I would have at least paused around 4 times because it was so emotional for me to kind of pen it down. But at the same time, it was important to tell that story. And I would have heard that story at least from 7 to 8 people. I would have spoken to them at length and then kind of, you know, decided that this is what I want to include in the chapter. Then kind of, you know, decided that this is what I want to include in the chapter.
Well, it's quite an emotional read for me because when I read the book, actually I gave Pooja liberty to whatever she wanted to write in the book. I won't interfere. So that's how this idea started, because when she started writing, we had an agreement that I wouldn't get involved, and I actually genuinely read the book when it was 80% complete. So when I first read the book and when I read the chapter of my mom, I started crying when I was reading the book because it was an emotional moment for me. I lost my mom when I was 17, but the kind of support my parents gave me when I was young, and to relive those moments, because she has described this thing really, really well. So it even now, like, it is an emotional part of my life because when I was 13, 14, that's when my mom told my dad that don't worry about your son. You won't even have to spend a penny on him, and eventually he will go on to represent the country. Unfortunately, she wasn't there when I played my first game, but she has been a great support. And one thing I still remember from my mother's advice is that whatever you do in your life, when you go forward, and she was very confident that I'll end up playing for the country. So she told me that you have to be a good human being first, and then I don't care whether you progress in your cricket, but even I know that you will progress in your cricket, but make sure that when you progress, you have to be a good human being first.
How Cheteshwar got his first ever cricket bat, the first pair of pads, is an incredible story, which you'll find out when you read in the book. But mothers are magicians, aren't they, for all of us, athletes, non-athletes, regardless of the profession. It's mothers that help us in our journey more than anyone else, I suppose. And Rohit, I read somewhere that you mentioned that your mother has been the emotional anchor of your life. I'm sure you have many stories of how she's helped you in your life.
Absolutely. I think since the day I was born till now, the support of my mother and of course the father as well has been immense. I know the sacrifices they've made for me and my brother to do what we needed to do in our life. And if I sit down and start talking about it, it's going to take the whole day. But I mean, when you sit back and think about it, you really appreciate, you know, what the parents go through, and that is something, you know. When you are at that age, you don't realize. But now, when I sit back and think about it, you understand, you know, the kind of things they did for you, and they made sure that we will not enjoy this, but we will do it for you. So like that, there are hundreds and millions of things that they've done for us to have the life that we wanted, and for me to pursue the things that I wanted to pursue in my career. Because you don't know when you are 7, 8 years old, you don't know where the career is going to go, whether you're going to make it in academics or whether you're going to do well in sport. You have no idea about it. All you want to do is, at that point, is enjoy life, and you don't realize the sacrifices that is happening behind you. So it's very, very appreciative, and I cannot thank enough to the kind of sacrifices they've made for us.
Yes, most children sort of choke up when they have to think of what their parents have done. Now, Anil Bhai, there are a lot of people here who are born in the 80s and 90s here. And I'm sure if they are proper cricket fans, they'll remember that great night at the Chinnaswamy when you and Javagal Srinath featured in a 52-run 9th wicket partnership against Australia, and India won by 2 wickets. I don't think anyone remembers any shot from that partnership. But the one thing that most of those people will remember is visuals of your mother in the stands, and her expressions perhaps symbolized or signified the journey of that game. Maybe you can tell us a bit about your mother's role in your life and career.
Yeah, she's been everything. For me, similar sort of story of, how she was an anchor and did everything for me to pursue my journey. And she was very much a part of that right from the beginning. I mean, between my parents, my mom was more sort of pushing me to play cricket. My dad was always there as a support, and he was someone who probably saw me play for the first time, where I had to literally pull him and say, look, you have to watch me play. This is my second first-class match, Ranji Trophy match, that I played for Karnataka at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. You need to come. Because till then, he would only ask me 3 questions, 2 questions, basically, when I came back from any match. So first question was, what happened to the match? So he would ask. And then the second question, what did you do? And the third question, when is your next match? So those were the only 3 questions, and that is how much pressure I had from my parents on the sport itself. But I guess, the match that you're referring to is a typical family response that all of us probably know that it's happening somewhere in their home, but for the first time, all of us saw it live. It so happened that, we all, as players, I mean, this is for everybody who's listening, we also get limited number of passes. Okay? So it's a fact. And for some reason that day, I got a pass which was on the opposite side of the pavilion at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. And a friend of mine who I played cricket with recognized my mum sitting there. So he told the camera person that that's Anil's mum, and it was my mum's sister-in-law who was next to her. So those were the scenes I think, people remember, because I guess all of us know what parents go through when their children are playing sport or doing anything in their lives, how involved they are, and it was nice to see that, and of course I miss her, but that's something that all of us probably saw it firsthand.
Great story. The other dreamer in Cheteshwar's life was, of course, the father, the great Arvind Bhai Pujara. Very tough on the outside, but he's full of heart, very compassionate, very kind, very generous, very thoughtful of people who come home. And I've been a beneficiary of that as well, because I've spent half a day in their house, and very hospitable people. Pooja, you've got to tell us about what this great man means to not just to your family, but to him as a person, as a cricketer.
So Cheteshwar's dad, like Anil Bhai mentioned, Cheteshwar's dad, till Cheteshwar's mum was there, Cheteshwar's dad and Cheteshwar had a very coach-student relationship. They would just talk over the phone about cricket, and at the end of the day, nothing else. And the mum would, check up. But ever since she passed, he has took it in him that I want to be both the parents, the mother and father. And every single day, he still shows up, and he's still, it's his breakfast time. Let me plate up for him. So he's just that kind of person who is really, really involved in Cheteshwar's. Forget just the cricketing journey, but even otherwise, he's like a very involved parent who wants to do the airport pickup and drops. He still looks up to him as a child. And and when we bond a lot about it, and I play the mediator when they get into an argument regarding cricket. So when Cheteshwar's dad is like, why would you do that? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. So that's when I come in and I play the mediator between them.
No, it is tough when your dad is your coach. Let me tell you, because it's never easy. He has been a strict father. He never allowed me to play with a tennis ball in gully cricket when I was young, and that is one regret I still have, because I'm sure all the cricketers would have. That's how they start. That's how every cricketer starts their journey. When you are young, you end up playing street cricket. You end up playing with tennis ball. But that is something which I still regret, because I am still. Whenever I'm preparing for a big series, and if he sees me with a tennis ball, he will see that, oh, your game will get spoiled, so don't do that. So, yeah, that is one regret I have, but I'm really thankful to him for all the help he has provided me, because he himself has been a first-class cricketer. His dream was to represent the country, but he couldn't. But he ensured that he coached me properly, and I ended up playing for the Indian team. So I'm thankful to him. I ended up playing for the Indian team. So I'm thankful to him.
Now, Arvind Bhai braved all odds. There were a lot of naysayers who said, nahi hoga kuch bhi. There were financial struggles as well, and he braved through all of that. So much so that he also fought with his boss.
Oh yes, he has been an honest person, so he has fought with many people. So I wouldn't be surprised. He has fought with me also. If I haven't done something correctly, he wouldn't be shy to tell me that this is something which you need to do. Even if I have scored 50 or 80 runs in a test match, and if I have played a bad shot, he will call me in the same evening, and first thing he will talk about is that why did you play that shot? He won't appreciate that I've got a 50 or a 80 run important knock. But first thing, if there is any technical error, that is something which he will talk about it first. But yeah, look, as I mentioned, he has been a strict father, but there are times where he is someone who has taught me discipline, because if you are playing at the highest level, the margin of error is very less. And one thing which strikes me about him is that one advice which I still remember, or which I still appreciate, is that he told me one thing very clearly, that when you are playing for your country, you are not playing for yourself. You are representing the country. You are playing for billions of people who support the Indian team, and it is your duty to ensure that the team wins. So your focus, your dedication, your discipline has to be on top of your game, and the margin of error is less. So you are playing for your country. Make sure that you are doing your job properly.
And I suppose the first time he realized that you had the ability to play cricket is when he saw a picture of you playing a pull shot with a plastic bat, which I think was taken next to a people paid in Kothi compound, a lovely house that you spent your early years. I won't tell you more, go and read the book. Rohit, your father as well, Mr. Gurunath Sharma, I'm sure worked very hard to help you. I believe he worked in a transport firm to enable you to play cricket. I'm sure you can share an anecdote or two about him for us.
Yeah, he worked in a transport company, and like I said, what my mom did, my father was very much involved in sacrificing things so that we can have our life. But my father always, since day one, has been a fan of Test cricket. Doesn't like this new age cricket, and. The day I still remember the day I scored 264 in ODI. He was like, okay, well played, well done. There was no such excitement from him. It's a world record and all of that. But even if I used to get good 30s or a 40s or a 50s or a 60s in Test cricket, he used to talk to me about it in detail. So that's the kind of love he had for the game, and he's obviously seen how you go up the ranks. You play age group cricket. You play, then you pass on to under 19, and then you go to Ranji trophies, Tulip trophies, Irani trophies, India A, and I've done all of that. So he has seen my journey through that, and through this I've made it to the Indian team, playing red ball cricket, not so much of white ball cricket, but that's how the team used to get picked back in the day. You do well in red ball cricket and you find yourself first in ODI cricket and then into Test cricket. Now it's a different story, but back in the day it was like that. So my father has seen me playing a lot of cricket with red ball, obviously. So he appreciates red ball cricket a lot, and then Obviously, was a little disappointed when I announced the retirement, but was happy as well at the same time. But yeah, that's my father, and has obviously played a huge role in wherever I am today. Without their help, it never would have been possible.
Your father wasn't the only one who was disappointed when you announced your retirement, but more on that on another day. In chapter 7, Pooja writes about Cheteshwar. She says, never a pack animal, he kept to himself, always the lone wolf among a sea of players. He just did not possess the teenage panache or enthusiasm to cut a dash, so common at that age. As a result, he became a misfit. Anil Bhai, was he a bit of a recluse, a loner, kept to himself in his room, meditating, praying? Was he that type?
Yeah, if you play the whole day, then you need to stay in your room and relax and get ready for the next one. I mean, that's exactly what he did. No, I don't think so. I think, yeah, people certainly feel like, amongst his friends and amongst his teammates, I mean, he was totally different. So I'm sure, that's, you need time with someone like Pooji, then he opens up and, it's like that. So I don't think he was a loner, but I'm sure with all the time that he spent on the field, he needed to certainly refresh and recover and get ready for the next day to, again, grind the opposition.
Pooja has a story on how they needed an extra room at the St. James Court in England. Tell us.
That was Southampton, not St. James Court, but yeah. So we were in 2021, we were in England for the test series, and I think it was the 4th test match. It was in Southampton, and I was traveling with Aditi. She was 6 months old. And I told I'll be staying with a friend at an Airbnb, so don't bother booking, an extra room for me. Come Southampton, I was bored and I was like, I'll just stay at the hotel. And he's like, sorry, you cannot. We'll have to take separate rooms, and there were an additional room was not available. So he went on to say, you have 24 hours, but like before the match, I will need to, have a separate room. And we had a proper argument or a fight of sorts. And I was like, how would you do that? I have a 6-month-old with me. He's like, you should have told you, we have to plan in advance. And that match, he scored a century. And he comes laughing with the kid, with like a school bag of sorts. And he's just like giggling and he's like, see, it worked, So, but I was like, yeah, you could have just told me, and I would have obliged. Yeah, but I after 24 hours, I ended up finding an apartment and I went and stayed there.
Extra room outside the off stump always helps a batter. We'll move on. She also mentions that Cheteshwar is a man of immense patience. He will grind it out, never play a bad shot. Rohit's style was, of course, very much different, 180 degrees, very much in contrast. You guys would have batted a lot together. Is there a memory, an innings, a partnership that you think, you guys complemented each other really well, that stands out for you?
Yeah, there have been few. Not just in Test cricket, but also when we, he was an opener, then I was a number 3. Yeah. And things have reversed literally a couple of years later. But no, also during the Test matches, I've had reasonable partnership. When I got my first 100 in England, he was my partner then. And then obviously, because we know each other so well, it reflects in how we approach our innings, in our approach, how we look at things on the field. So yeah, and we've had a lot of arguments as well. We used to fight amongst each other, who will take the short leg, who will take the silly point. And Pujji used to be like, I'm number 3, so I need to rest more than you, so you take that, because I used to bat at number 5 and 6, so and then we decided amongst us.
उसके बाद उल्टा भी हो गया था, क्योंकि वो उसने from the time he started opening the innings in Test cricket, फिर उसने बोला कि अभी मैं ओपन कर रहा हूँ, तो I didn't have any answer. I had to be at short leg. But काफी innings भी हम लोग साथ में खेले, मतलब टेस्ट क्रिकेट में तो खेले ही है, but one thing I want to mention is कि रोहित ने पहले बताया कि इंडियन ऑयल में हम लोग काफी मैचेस साथ में खेलते थे. तो जो टाइम शील्ड के मैचेस हुआ करते थे उसमें वी हैड अ वेरी गुड बैटिंग लाइनअप एंड इट वाज अ नाइटमेयर फॉर द ऑपोजिशन टीम, क्योंकि एक मैच मुझे अभी भी याद है, हमारी टीम ने 800 रन किए थे 3-डे मैच में और रोहित भी उसमें थे. तो देयर हैव बीन ग्रेट पार्टनरशिप्स विद हिम एंड इट हैज ऑलवेज बीन अ प्लेजर, बिकॉज जब आप रोहित के साथ बैटिंग करते हो, बेस्ट position is to stay at the non-strikers end and the kind of shots he used to play even then. अभी तो बहुत ही खेले, बट इवन जब अंडर 19s में इंडियन ऑयल के लिए जब खेलते थे एंड ही यूज्ड टू टेक ऑन द बॉलर्स, सो द बेस्ट सीट वाज एट द नॉन-स्ट्राइकर्स एंड.
देखो हम क्रिकेट मीडिया में ना, एटलीस्ट आई हैव दिस हैबिट ऑफ मेकिंग श्योर आई फैक्ट चेक एवरीथिंग आई से. आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ दैट स्टोरी इज ट्रू. डिड यू रियली सेंड अ मैसेज वाया ईशान किशन? इज दैट ट्रू कि अभी मार बड़ा?
हाँ.
Tell us more.
Yeah, that was because we wanted to get Nathan Lyon off the track a little bit, and we wanted to get some runs quickly. We might have to, I don't know, we're looking at declaring or something. I don't remember that, but we were just like, no, something needs to change here now. Maybe a message would do a good, because the entire time he just kept bowling with mid on up, and I'm like, he is not that good of a bowler to keep bowling with mid on up. And I know it was a challenge because the pitch was turning really square, and we wanted to get those runs quickly as well. So Ishan को भेजना पड़ा मुझे, but I don't know whether that happened or not. There's one thing we send messages. The most important thing is sometimes what batters do is, वो मैं भी करता हूँ, कि जब कोई मैसेज लेके आता है तो हमको पता है कि ये मैसेज लेके आया है, तो हम उसको उधर ही रोक देते हैं. भाई ठीक है, मेरे को पता है तू क्या करने आया है, पानी दे दे बस. I'm sure he did the same thing.
मारा था छक्का.
नहीं, उसके बाद जिन्होंने मैच फॉलो किया है, आई हैव गॉट वन मोर सिक्सर इन माय टेस्ट रिकॉर्ड.
Over cover. I remember that shot.
Yes.
Now you know how challenging coaching is.
कोई तो सुनो. Right. We've got to talk about the ultimate test series 2020-2021. Sydney Test followed by the great Gabba Test match where Cheteshwar Pujara was not a batter. He was a warrior. He had to face a lot of blows from the Australian fast bowlers, one on the shoulder, then on the elbow, then on the finger, again on the shoulder, the ribs. Pooja, was that, I don't think you were there in Australia, watching it from home. Was that the toughest phase for you as a top-level cricketer's wife?
The toughest was from the viewer's point of view.
Yeah.
That may be the toughest.
Yeah.
The toughest was he hit this anecdote I've mentioned in the book, but I've not talked about it a lot. There was a test series in South Africa in 2017. Cheteshwar scored his first run at 54th ball. I was 8 months pregnant. And I had to go through 53 deliveries where he was leaving the ball or getting beaten. And I was watching that with being 8 months pregnant. So that was the topmost worrisome moment for me. And when he finally took that first run, he just put his bat up and then he went on to get a 50 in that match. But coming back to Gabba, the body blows, yes, it was tough to watch. I was sweating and shivering at the same time. So it was tough to watch, but the toughest would be still the South Africa in 2017.
But after that Gabba Test match, I know he had a private doctor at home who had her own way of curing or relieving you of the pain. Tell us that story and who that person is. Because that person is in the audience right now, doctor.
Yeah, my daughter Aditi, she's here. So she told me when I was getting hit, when I was getting hit on the body, after the game, I had a call with her and she told me that whenever you are home, I'll kiss you on those parts and you will be fine. Don't worry. And it is tough for the family when they are watching the game, but look, when you are representing the country, when you are in that moment, you forget about everything else because it's not just me, but all the cricketers who have played this game at the highest level when they are representing the country. You have to do all these things because you are motivated, you want to do well for the country, you want to win games for the country. Anil Bhai has done it, even he's a bowler, but even as a bowler, when he was hit, we know that story. So he's one of that inspiration where you know that even despite those injuries, you end up being on the field and to lead the team, to to have that courage to be on the field and win the game for the country. So when you get that opportunity, and I won't say that that's the opportunity you are looking for, but when you are in that position, you want to show that courage. You want to show that you are there for the country and you can do it despite so many challenges.
I remember that series. I was there in that series. The previous series that we played, 2018-19, he was the best batsman on that tour. And that was the first time in, I think, 70 years, India won a test series in Australia. So that was a great feeling. And I remember when we toured the next time, 2021, one thing, whenever I had chats with the Australian players, they just kept saying one thing, common amongst everyone, that they hated bowling to him. The reason, of course, you get 100 in 120 balls, they prefer that, rather than getting 100 in 300 balls. So that is what Puji was doing for us. Yeah, all these guys, I could see at the end of the day, their shoulders were dropping, the energy was not there, and he played a big part in, toiling those bowlers and wearing them down. People will talk about, yes, of course, the blows, the gritty 50s, 70s, 80s that he got. But most importantly, I think what he was doing was holding that one end so strong where that nobody can go past that, right? And Rishabh Pant on the other side could do what he could do. And eventually what both of them did worked out for the team.
He took those blows, yeah. Terrific innings that, and India won. You took those blows, but you also got scolded by the daughter. So I won't let them talk about it because you've got to discover what young Aditi said to... You want to talk about that? Or do we let that be a secret? Okay, we'll let that be. It's a beautiful line that Aditi said to her father. Find out more about that in the book. But the Aussies were so fed up of this man that they ended up sledging the family. Family ko kaun sledge karta hai yaar? She's going to grow up to hate Justin Langer. Again, that's something we're not going to reveal.
Hate is a strong word. We don't use that.
Dislike. The Pujaras don't hate anyone. Yeah. But there is something that Justin Langer said to Pooja. What that is, you can find out. I believe we've run out of time. But finally, I have a lot more to ask, but I've been told we've run out of time. Finally, this is for the three of you. You've seen this man from different lenses, as a coach, as a captain, as a colleague, as a player, as a husband. Is there one thing that you would tell him to change about himself? He's a stubborn man, doesn't change easily. Rohit, you want to go first, or do we go to Pooja?
There is a list. I'm very sure there is a list coming.
No, I don't think I would want to tell him to change anything. He's perfect in his own way, and that is what makes him special. He's obviously developed a very new habit of being a watch fanatic, which we keep chatting about quite a lot. But other than that, I don't think I'm going to tell him anything unless I feel there needs to be. But I don't think so.
Anyway?
I agree with Rohit. I think, the time that I have spent with Puji and knowing him and how dedicated he is to the family and, family man, it's not easy, the sacrifices that the family goes through, wives go through. I think you can all read in this book about how Pooja has brought out that aspect. Not many people recognize that. As cricketers, we know the difficulties that the wives go through. My wife had to bring up 3 children, so it was not easy. She had to miss a lot of matches. In fact, I think she's seen a lot more matches after I retired than my own matches. So it's quite challenging. For Puji, I don't want to say anything. I think I should enjoy, the time that he is having with cricket. And I know he also now picks up the mic, which I enjoy. I watched him or heard him speak during the Australia series. It was really refreshing because you need more players, current players, to also pick up the mic and then say what they feel about the game, because the game has changed over the years, and it's nice to get a refreshing voice. And I'd like to just wish him all the very best. And Pooja, you've done a great book. I have read it. I don't want to say things. I know exactly what you mean when you ask that question. Let it be a secret. But it's been wonderful to be a part of this journey. And thank you so much for having us here.
Now, all yours, Pooja. Go for it. Bring out that list.
We're running out of time. We'll do it in person.
Have you? I'm pretty sure it's not written in the book. Is there anything regarding that West Indies tour of India A 2012? No. What happened?
The mugging incident.
Why not?
When I was, that can't be. I haven't told. I mean, she's aware, but she's not. She doesn't have the details. Yeah, you can.
नहीं रोहित भाई आप बताओ.
तेरे साथ हुआ था, तू बता यार.
So when I went out with one of the physios, so I'm a vegetarian, so we were looking for a vegetarian meal at night, and it was in TNT, where we went out at 11 in the evening. So we didn't find the meal, but when we were walking back, I was mobbed. I can't tell you in detail about it, but that's the story is referring to. So I've told you a little bit about it. I was mobbed, and I don't want to get into the details about it because
we want to, sir. This is a filtered out version. आप बताओ.
Moral of the story: sometimes he can be stubborn. We told him, we warned him, don't go in the night. 9 बजे के बाद रात को बाहर मत निकलना. ये वेस्ट इंडीज है, ये इंडिया नहीं है. बट ये फिर भी गया, तो ये हुआ उसके साथ.
Part 2 के लिए बहुत मसाला बाकी है. But I've been told that Anil Bhai and Chetna and Rohit and Ritika have to leave for another prior commitment. So a huge round of applause to both these legends and their families for being with us. Rohit Bhai, thank you so much, and thank you.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you. Thanks.
One sec.